Okay, so the first thing we're going to do for algebra is not even any algebra. It's just going to be checking your answer. So when you do get an answer in algebra, solving the equation, how do you know that's the right answer and you're ready to move on? Okay, that's what we're going to look at. So when you solve something, you don't want to just say, well, I got this, and then do next, and then turn it in and say, oh, I got 3 out of 11. Right. That's probably not a good thing. It's more prudent for you guys to get them correct. So what you have here is a bunch of equations which you will be solving in starting file, and you have the answer for each one. So I gave you the answer here. So let's assume you already went through and you got the answers for all your equations. For this one, they're all the right answers. What you're going to do is also do a check to make sure it's the right answer. So what you're going to do is just do a check for each one. And this is what you'll do at the end of every single equation you solve, okay, at least when they're really small and simple to solve like this. And all it is just plugging it in to the original equation. So we got 17. Our answer for x, right, is 19. And then you're making sure, minus 2, right, plugging it in right here, substituting it in, and you're making sure you get the same number on both sides. Now, the left side is just a number, right? The right-hand side is 19 minus 2, simplify, you get 17. That's it. So that's how you know it's the correct answer, is that you get the same number on both sides. If you got different numbers, then it would be different, then it would be wrong. So let's say I said the answer was, instead of 19, I said it was 20. Okay? That's the answer I got. When I plug in 20, I get 17 equals 20 minus 2. And that would be 17 equals 20 minus 2 is 18. And that's how I know I got the wrong answer. Because the numbers are not the same. And you go back, erase it, and try again. Until when you check it, you get the same number. So that's all we're doing today. Is practicing plugging it in and making sure you get the same number of both sides. You just go down you can write, not that down. Copy this down. Just like I did, you put a little line. You don't have to write the word check if you don't want to, but you can. Okay. You're practicing. And let's go down. Once you've done that, I'll just do a few more. So let's say on number 3, I already got an answer of a equals 9. Let's go over here and say this 13 plus 9 equals 22. 13 plus 9 is 20. Now these are very simple and straightforward. That's what we're starting with. But as the equations do get bigger, of course the check is going to be a little bit bigger. But even if the equation's pretty long, the check is always faster. So you can spend like a couple of minutes on the equation, and then the check is really fast. And then you know your grade before you turn it in. So here we got some more negatives, so it's a little bit more work. So let's say we have n equals negative 20. Let's say you already solved it, got your answer. So 13 equals negative 20 minus negative 7. Okay. So now here's an extra step. We have to do, okay, 13 is negative 20 plus 7. And then do one more step, negative 13, and then negative 20 plus 7 is
negative 15.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. And if you know it's the right answer, you should be expecting these to be the same. And if they don't come out the same, that would mean negative 20 was not the right answer. So you see what we just did all last week and the integers and all that stuff? We do need that to check all your answers. This is what makes algebra a lot easier for you, because you'll turn in your quizzes and tests. You already have checked all your answers. You already know your grade before you turn it in, because you plug them all back in. And we no longer can say, oh, I didn't know because fractions or negatives. You have a calculator. If you're not sure, you put this in the calculator. You know how to do that now. There are parentheses buttons, by the way, on the calculator. You can put in -20 minus parentheses -7, and it'll say -13, and you know for sure. So you'll never miss an algebra problem because of arithmetic, ever. You can't say a problem with fractions is more difficult, ever, because it's just put the calculator, see what you get. Now, you don't need a calculator, then you don't have to. It's just to make sure you're not missing any high school algebra questions because of elementary school math. Fractions are from elementary school. You should not be missing any math problems because of that. Okay, we have the tools, got to use them. All right, let's go down to number 9. Here we go, fractions. So let's do a check. Let's assume we got number 9. We got an answer of r equals -5/3. Okay, so we're going to go over here. -2/3, does that equal -5/3? Plus 1. And here's where you can use a calculator. You put in -5, right? Then the fraction button. 3, and then plus 1. And you might need to do the other fraction button to make it an improper fraction, but it should come out to -2/3. Right? As long as you get the same number on both sides, you know it's the right answer. And for here, these are all the correct answers, so if you don't get the same number, something's wrong. You want to go back and kind of see how to do that. Okay. Practice putting in the calculator to make sure it's right. Same thing like on number 11, 19/20. Does that equal 11/4 minus 9/5? Left side stays the same. You plug this into the calculator and make sure it's a improper fraction, so you might have to hit the shift button. Shift fraction, so it comes out to 19/20. Otherwise, oh no, that's improper. That's not going to come out to a mixed number. But every now and then you might have to hit the shift button to get the B/C button. Or E button. B/E button. Okay. So for here, just know that the fraction, you can do that 2 ways. You can type in, use the fraction button. So there's 8. So you can do this 2 ways. You can type in 120 and then the fraction button, 15, and hit enter. But fractions are the same as division, so you can also hit 120 divided by 15. That's the same thing. So a fraction is a division problem. There's 2 ways of doing these when you're trying to simplify. This is the same as reducing a fraction. Type it in with the fraction button or just hit divide. The nice thing with the fraction button is that it'll give you the mixed number. If you just hit divide, that'll give you a decimal only. Now there is a way, if you get a decimal on your calculator, to hit a button, it'll convert the decimal to the fraction, back and forth. So there's that as well. Okay, and of course the answer is 120 divided by 15 is 8. Because I'm expecting these to come out to be the same. Because it's the right answer. Okay. So do we need to do, let's take a look at the back. Do we need to do any in the back, or do we pretty much understand it? We're okay? Okay. So that's all I'm looking for. You do have to have the initial problem written down, and you do have to show me they're the same thing on both sides, so make sure you don't change any format. Do it the exact way I showed you. Okay. Not that you necessarily need to for these problems, but we're going to get to really big equations later, and we're going to definitely need a similar format to make it work. Okay. All right, so that's about it. And you guys have the rest of the day to work on this.